Good morning, everyone. It's Hanna on the top of Palm Springs. Today I have a little morning routine. Been feeling a little stiff. It's been a long weekend, or it's been a long week. And just in your body is just a little bit of achy. This should do. Okay, so let's come into a balasana. You can come into your knees, open your knees within the width of the mat. So like the wild child. Hands start reaching forward. You can walk them down. Fingertips are open. You're creating a space for the torso between your legs. And you can rest your head on the floor. In our balasana, it's a gentle but a deep stretch of our back muscles, of our glutes. We can also feel our lungs expanding. One more deep breath in. And on an exhale, start rounding up, arching to come up into our all fours position. Our all fours, aka also tabletop pose. You want to have your arms right over your wrist. That is a space of a fist or so between your knees. And from here, we're starting to create that little arch in our lower back, shifting forward to our cow and starting to arch our back to a cat. And then shifting forward, dropping that belly, coming back, exhaling to a cat. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, create that angry cat arch. Shift forward. Exhale. Feel your vertebrae opening, bringing a little bit more movement to your body. Acknowledge what is happening in that spine today, where there is any tension residing along your spine. Now shake it off, maybe from the right to the left. Shake that booty. Find what feels good here right now. You shake off your legs, and now we're going to curl our toes under. Pressing in with your hipsies down. And of course, if you can't come and reach your booty too close, you can pop a pillow. Little child pose variation, and inhale. Come back into your all fours. From here, we're going to move into our puppy pose. So knees are hip width distance apart. Starting to pull your tailbone up to the sky and walking your hands forward. Now, this is where it might feel just perfectly fine for you. Stay there. Otherwise, start exploring by pressing it down. You want to have your shoulder blades pulled together. You can also bring your hands in prayer if this feels good. It gives extra stretch. Spine is long. Hips are stacked directly above the knees. Your legs want to be about 90-degree bend. Using your ujjayi breath to stay in this pose, breathing through the nose and exhaling out of your nose, creating that slight contraction in the back of your throat. Every exhale is a chance for you to release a little bit more. Melt your heart to the ground, to the Mother Earth. Lay down your load of your shoulders, of what is no longer needed. For the next deep breath, start pressing into your hands and walking your hands back to your body, gently creating little cat arch and sinking in your free leathers back into your heels, coming into a child's pose for a reset. And on the next deep breath in, coming on back to your all fours. From here, we're going to move into a little leg lifts. So find your square arms and hips. Find a stable point. In yoga, we call it the drishti point, where you're looking into it and you don't take your eyes off. Start lifting your right leg behind you. Flex and point your feet a couple times, and from here you can flex your foot, and we're gonna take a couple bounces with that leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Bend that right knee. Now send to the right side. Try to keep that height with your hips as a fire hydrant, and then send it low down to the mat. Shake it off and find your balance. Flex that left foot and start bouncing that left leg on a count of 16 on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Bend that left knee, squaring that hip to the left side and sending down to the mat. Shake it off. Take a deep breath in. Curl your toesies, and on an exhale, sinking down back into your child's pose. Just do one round of breath, and the next inhale, press into your hands. Gonna come back into your all fours. Or just to change the vision point, so it's easier for you guys to see. But come back into that tabletop. We're going to move into a variation of a side plank. So press into your left hand, into your left fingertips, grip the mat and start pivoting. Pivoting on that left knee, your left feet to the back to align with the width of the mat. Now start rolling up that right hip, stacking that top hip over. Your right hand fingertips will start reaching up and they can stay there, or you can bring that rainbow-like stretch to your body. Now, if you're doing this, make sure that that top right hand is not in the way of your vision. You're not collapsing into the pose. One more deep breath in and exhaling that arm down, up and over, and squaring your arms or hips, coming back into your knees, into that all fours again. Shake it off there. I am just going to switch the vision point again, and we will repeat all of that on the other side. So you're going to be pressing into that right hand, right fingertips first. So pivoting this time on your right knee, flexing that right foot, stacking your top hip over, extending down, your arm floats up to the sky. And maybe you want to come into that rainbow extension stretch again. So I like to say, one more deep breath in, exhale out. Another deep breath in, and on an exhale, bring that little nice round circle. Start pivoting back onto your right knee, come back into your all fours, and take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, curl up your toes, sinking your booty down into your heels again. And every time when we do this between the different asanas, try sinking deeper. Now inhale and come out of the pose, coming back into our tabletop pose again. Now curl up your toes again, press into your fingertips and hands, and start inhaling in, using your core, lift your knees, and now send yourself up into a downward facing dog. Gentle bend in your knees. If this is a little bit difficult for you, see how far you can pick up your knees to it and stay where you are pressing into that letter V. Fingertips are open. Your core is engaged. You're hugging your ribs, but you don't want to press in too much on the arch. And then walking out that dog while you're bringing one heel at the time to the back of the mat. One more exhale. Now come into your knees and bring your right leg forward. Coming into our low lounge. Now you can also take a step back and come back into a downward facing dog and take that right leg forward from your downward facing dog. So in your Anjayasana, you're rooting down all four corners of your right foot. Your knees bend or aligned with your ankle or behind. And curl your toes and pressing the top of your foot down to the mat. Now interlace your fingers and place your hand right onto your thigh, a little bit under your knee, never over. And start sinking in with your left hip. Allow that hip to sink in as you're pressing firmly into your right knee. So it's like a dual action. At all times, think of squaring the hips. So you're pulling that left hip forward and that right hip back. Breathing and releasing. Another deep breath in. And you can let go of your interlaced fingers. Send your hands down into the mats, your fingertips to frame that right leg and start moving, bending gently that right knee down and pushing it a little bit more forward, bringing a little bit of fluidicity. You want to inhale and you want to exhale as you straightening it out, and inhale as you bending that knee, and another exhale. Inhale forward, exhale, let go, release. Inhale forward, exhale. We're going to straighten that right leg and stay here for a few breaths in our half splits, making sure that we're squaring our hips, pulling in that left leg forward, right hip back. You can keep a gentle bend in your knees. Your forehead is trying to reach that knee. And using an ujjayi breath, breathing through your nose and exhaling out to calm your mind on whatever that is that happened this weekend. It does not matter. All we've got is the moment of now. On the next exhale, bend that right knee back to a low lunge. Take your time. Find your drishti and curl your toes on the left side. Pressing through your arms. Come back to downward facing dog. And back into our reset pose, our child's pose. So whichever way you want to get there, curl your toes, pressing down your hips to the floor. And inhale. Come back through all fours. I'm just going to turn around for you so we can repeat all of that on the other side. Come on back to your downward facing dog and walking out your legs, bending one knee at the time. And we'll take this to the other side. So bend that left knee and bring to the front of the mat, or come down onto your knees and bring that left leg forward. Find yourself in your low lunge. Reach hands up and over, shoulders are relaxed, play drawing towards each other. Now interlace your fingertips again. Place your hand on that quad a little bit under your knee and start sinking in this time with that right hip down, pushing away through your arms, breathing through whatever sensations are arising and then thoughts are passing. On next deep breath, release your fingertips, frame that left leg. Start straightening out. Inhale, forward, bend that knee. Exhale, straighten your leg down. Inhale, forward. We don't want to make sure we're not crossing that knee over that ankle. In exhale, down, trying to bring that belly into your higher thigh and forehead lower. With every exhale, you have a chance of going deeper and releasing harder. Just one more round. Inhale in as you bend that knee and exhale it out. Now come on into those half splits. So trying to bring our forehead as close to the knee to that leg. Remember to be folding from your hips, not from your spine. So having a gentle bend when you come into the pose. It's a good idea. And on the next exhale, bend that right knee. And we're going to come out of the pose. Send your arms up to the sky and back down to a child's pose. Reset. Exhale your hips down and reaching hands forward. Next, deep breath in. Come back up to your all fours. From here, we'll go move into our next pose. Bring your right leg behind you. Send it back. Bend that right knee. Now send it over to that fire hydrant. And now send it to the right outer edge of your mat. You can curl your toes up for a little bit of extra support. And you can roll out your right foot onto that pinky side. The right hand will come onto your right knee, and you want to press into that right knee, pushing it away from your body. Staying here just for one round of breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And if this feels good on you, you can take this pose a little bit farther, where you bring your forearms down into the floor. You can pick up your back knee and come into that full lizard pose. Elbows wants to be right under your shoulders. Keep your head in line with your spine. Hips stay level. Now if you're in a full lizard, bring that left knee down. Come back into your full arms. Take a deep breath in here. And an exhale. Come back into your knees and take your reset balasana. During a child's pose, you can check the progress of how your body feels. Now let's come out of it. Come back into your all fours again. And let's take this all to the other side. So send that left leg behind you, bend that left knee, bring it to that fire hydrant and take it over to the outer left edge of the mat. Press into your right arm. Your left hand will come into that left knee and push away that knee from your body. Maybe curling up the toes on the right feet and fully sending that left foot onto pinky side. If you want to come into a full lizard pose, it's important to repeat the same movement as you've done on the other side to keep your body in balance. And just wherever you are in your lizard, just stay still breathing. Come back into the ujjayi breath. Really find yourself in this present moment. We're going to come out the pose wherever you are. So take your time when you press into your arms. And now let's take that front knee and come and sink into our balasana again, into our child's pose. And coming out, rounding our back into our all fours. And from here, pressing in to your downward facing dog. Walking your knees, your legs again, finding how your body is feeling a little bit different. Lifting your right leg behind, bend the knee. bring your right knee into your right wrist, in your right ankle into your left wrist. You can take a look behind and make sure that that back leg is right in the middle of the mat, parallel. And from here, you can press into your fingertips, straighten your spine, and melt your heart over your right knee. You can also create a little bed, a little rest for your head, and really focus on releasing in the sensations that you are experiencing right now in your body. Let that all just float by. Just keep breathing. Every exhale is a chance for you to go a little bit deeper in this pose. Don't worry about how you look, only how much release you receive. Taking 2 more rounds of breath in our pigeon on the right side. And the last exhale, let's press it into our arms. Take a little pause here before you come out. The pigeon pose, and now pressing into your hands, uncurling your toes, and come back into a downward facing dog and come to the pigeon on the left side. Bring that left leg into that figure 7 or 4, and depending on what shape your legs want to take. Left ankle will be close by your right wrist, and left knee close by your left wrists. And create a little support for your forehead, for your head. Sinking in, feeling the sensations rising. Maybe something is popped, move, shifted. Don't be afraid to make an adjustment to of how your body wants to feel in this pose. In yoga, we never going to be looking the same. Depending on our bone structure, there are certain poses or ways that's how just our body's going to look like. In yoga, we don't compare one to another. One more deep breath in, and from here, as you're exhaling out, press into your arms. Come here into that beginning of a pigeon and curl your toes in your right feet. Press into downward facing dog and come back into your knees, into your all fours. Shake it off, wiggle your butt a little bit, move your arms, your legs, find what feels good, and press in back to downward facing dog. From here, take a few steps to the front of the mat, keep your knees bent, come into a squat. From here, set your sit bones on the mat, send your arms forward to help yourself with that, using your core. I'm going to move into the middle of the mat to have space, and ground your seat bones, straighten your spine. Whenever you're ready, on the next deep breath in, you're going to send your arms up and over your head. Deep breath in, drop your shoulders, bring a nice gentle or deeper bend into your knees, and on an exhale, start melting your chest down. Now the melting happens from your hips, not from your spine. Keep a nice bend into your knees. Hollow up your belly, so draw your belly in and bring your forehead to your knees as much as you can. A pillow could come handy in a pose like this as well. You could place a pillow right between your belly and your thighs to rest your chest on top. You can also experiment a little bit and explore by starting to straighten out your knees a little bit more, or just stay where you are and focus on releasing any tension out of your hamstrings. Immersing yourself in the present time, listening to what your body is whispering to you right now in the silence of breath and then release. Take one more deep breath in here, and on an exhale, look forward and start straightening out your back. Coming back home into seated, inhaling your arms up and over your head, straightening your spine for one more time. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Now take a look behind you. Make sure that you have space. Scooch maybe to the middle. Send arms forward, and now using your core vertebrae by vertebrae, take yourself down into the mat. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze, and maybe massage your lumbar spine again, moving from the right to the left. As a person that sits all the time on your legs, moving around and lifting things, this particular stretch, massaging the lumbar spine along with that, it's one of my favorite things. I can control how much of a pressure I can bring just with my arms, and sometimes I can barely bring those knees to my chest. So take your time. Taking one more deep breath in, and from here we're going to move into our happy baby pose. So send your feet right into your hands. Ankles are stacked over your knees. Knees are bent towards the mat. Tailbone reaches toward the earth to lengthen the spine, and maybe gentle wobble from right to the left, and releasing, exhaling your feet back and knees back into your chest, giving yourself a last chance of coming to that beautiful stretch. Starting slowly to release your legs up to the sky. Bring the soles of your feet together in a diamond shape and rest them back down into the mat. Just for a round of breath in here, inhale, exhale, and from here, whenever you are ready, you can just straighten out your legs, send them down to the mat, and come into your well-deserved Shavasana, into your corpse pose. Find yourself dropping to the ground, thinking of the beautiful wonders today will bring, or shedding off and letting go of the day. Hearing the rhythm of your heart, release the tension from in between your eyebrows. Wiggle gently your toes and your fingers. Move your body. Bring your knees into your chest, your forehead into your knees. If you wish to stay here, pause the video and go ahead and stay. But otherwise, roll over to your favorite side into that fetal pose and push away whenever you are ready to come back into the seated, into our Sukhasana. If it feels good to bring your head to roll from the right to the left side, go for it. Otherwise, inhale your arms up into the sky. Exhale your hands into the heart center. And thank you for tuning in to the top of the mountain. Love and light. Nutsmaste.